This video right here is going to serve as a wonderful little retrospective for the life and times of Bungie Entertainment, the once great Bungie Entertainment, the formative minds behind Oni and, of course, Halo, back when it was, really good. And the reason anybody knows the name Bungie right now, in a modern sense, is because they kind of become a bit of a laughing stock. But the people that made the studio as prominent as it was back in the cut, well, they all kind of left. It was in on and around the time that Activision had first bought the company, brought them under their umbrella, so they left to form Firewalk Studios, and it's kind of funny how everything ends up working out. Bungie gets their freedom from Activision, goes indie for a second, and then Sony swoops in and purchases them. And what happens to Firewalk Studios? Yeah, they aren't really churning out any products, and then who comes in knocking? Oh, Sony. Very, very strange how everything works out. Kind of a life finds a way type situation. But Firewalk Studios, they're in a bit of a pickle right now, in case you haven't heard. Their major release, their seemingly one and only release, Concord, a little game that you might have heard of, but to be fair, we're a couple of weeks removed from its couple weeks of launch. But we have word from the former owner. The developer is shaken to the core by the game's failure. I mean, I thought we had something great. We were just going to simply shake off any of the criticism. Nothing was going to stick to us. We have a great product right here that nobody's going to play 2 weeks later because all the servers are shut down. Instead of getting to the root, instead of getting to the reason why this thing failed so spectacularly, you just simply want to look for ghosts. You just simply want to go and look for other reasons, when at the root of this was you're a character-based shooter and you had awful characters with a bunch of insufferable modern day-isms that nobody is actually down with. So yeah, ignoring any discussion of DEI or wokeness leading to its downfall, because that's basically what it was. I'm not going to say that Concord, like if they had normal characters, okay? Like if this was just the generic hero shooter 2986, you could have lauded your credentials in the FPS genre as the people that made Bungie what it was, okay? You could have touted your acumen, and this could have been fine. It might have been able to carve out a little niche in the space, and you would have definitely still been operational at this point in time. If you would have went against the tide of modern gaming and you would have had, I don't know, somewhat attractive characters, I mean, just look at the success. Like, just middling games that are out there that have attractive lead characters. Stellar Blade, First the Descent, hell, Black Myth Wukong just telling, the woke brigade to get stuffed. I've seen tremendous success over there. That's literally all you had to do, but you decided, nope, we're going to listen to games journalists, we're going to listen to the big corpos, and we're going to go ahead and stick with pronouns, stick with diversity at a point in time where that stuff has been out of vogue for how many years at this point. Former owner of Concord developer Firewalk Studios, probably Monsters, is reportedly shaken to the core by Concord's abysmal failure, but management is allegedly ignoring any discussion or on DEI or wokeness. Being the cause of the game's downfall. Probably Monsters, whose CEO and founder is Harold Ryan, the former president and chairman chairman of the board at Bungie, sold Firewalk Studios to Concord to Sony back in April of 2023. In a press release from Sony, shared Sony Interactive Entertainment, and announced today it has entered into an agreement with Probably Monsters to acquire Firewalk Studios. Yeah, we know some of this stuff, and if not, it's not really all that consequential, because even if it was still under the ownership of Probably Monsters, this was going to be the game that was going to release. It just would have been a much more immediately consequential disaster, but at least under Sony's corporate oversight, they can kind of spread out the failure. They can also kind of hide it behind the outrage that's around the price point and the overall pathetic PlayStation 5 Pro. Sony CEO and President Jim Ryan. Oh yeah, somebody else who's no longer with Sony. Firewalk Studios is led by a world-class team that is highly experienced and deeply passionate about creating exceptional multiplayer games that foster memorable shared experiences. Yeah, but that was a decade removed from them doing anything. Like the last title of consequence, like Destiny. Like, let's not pretend that Destiny was really anything amazing at any point in time. Yeah, it eventually gained a player base, but that was supposed to be a 10-year project that was supposed to wrap up with 3 games. You had how many expansions, and how many of them were actually decent for Destiny 2? And Destiny 1, when it first launched, oh my god, it was plagued by just about as many problems as the streamer Destiny is. Because Peter Dinklage, when he was voicing the little robot companion, he sounded like he was watching his wife get fucked on camera by other men. So yeah, Bungie hasn't really had an out-of-the-box success, since Halo Reach. Well, Harold Ryan also stated Probably Monsters is incredibly proud of the team and the game we incubated and built over the past few years. Firewalk Studios joining PlayStation Studios is a brilliant move for our team, game, and future players. And acquisitions like this is the reason, and the overwhelming focus on live service games is the reason why Jim Ryan is no longer the CEO of Sony. So fast forward a little bit, following the poor sales, Firewalk Studios game director Ryan Ellis announced in a blog post, the game would be shut down in 2 weeks' time. And at this point in time, we're weeks removed to this stuff, right? And then we also had stupid Amanda Kiefer, oh, the chuds aren't going to have any games to buy. It's like, well, nobody bought your woke piece of shit, so I don't know what to tell you, stupid. Best of luck at Starbucks, and that's 2 pumps, not 1, sweetheart. But now, a source close to Probably Monsters informs that Park Place, that Probably Monsters has been shaken to its core due to not only the game's failure, but to the extent that it failed. The company and its employees have been shaken by the failure. One thing that is not shaking them is they are not even acknowledging the game's embrace of woke ideology and diversity. It is a mind virus that will eventually envelop and destroy its host. Like, there's no other way to put this. This is tremendous. Interestingly, the source also informed that Park Place that the company did indeed have discussions beforehand about how heavy it would embrace woke ideology. As shown in the game's final product, it does not appear that dissenting voices were able to bring any reason to those wanting to insert the woke ideology. And now it appears executives want to bury their heads in the sand. If the source if what the source relays is true, other projects coming out of Probably Monsters incubation, as well as their Battle Barge and Hidden Grove studios, are most definitely at risk of being infected by woke ideology and leading to similar disasters such as Concord. Yep, they can go ahead and they can carve out a nice cozy niche in the dustbin of history right next to, well, Dustborn, Flintlock, Tales of Kenzara, Zao, or even if they do see a little bit of success, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Hell, if given enough time, what Bungie proper is currently working on, because apparently Marathon, something that they've been working on for how long at this point? Yeah, it's a steaming pile of shit. Color me surprised. A new rumor claims that, to provide significant details for Bungie's upcoming game Marathon, which was announced in May of 2023, not only does it provide new details, but claims the game is testing poorly. The rumor surfaced on, it was broke by the hacker 4chan? What? And notes that the various changes the game is undergoing is not a response to the failure of Concord. Okay, that does note that repeated focus testing with Destiny, Tarkov, and Hunt Showdown players have been continually negative in its feedback. Leadership and creative design decision makers have been a revolving door. With every new change comes a new vision to fix the project. There may be some veracity to this part of the rumor, given IGN reported Christopher Barrett was removed as game director back in March and was replaced by former Valorant game director Joel Ziegler. Outlet also claimed the game's direction has shifted somewhat under Ziegler's new leadership. He shared that at the time he had become the game director, writing, hi everyone, fun update. For the last 9 months I've been working on Marathon as a game director, and we're still baking, and I'm excited to share with you more info on the game as we get closer to bringing it to all of you. However, a recent report from stupid Jason Schreier, boo, claims that Barrett was removed for inappropriate behavior. Oh no. So it's not that the game was bad, it's just Ziegler needed a job, and well, I'm sure that there were some people willing to concoct a few stories. Not like we haven't heard that tale time and time again in the games industry. Barrett was terminated following an internal investigation at which at least 8 female employees, there it is, I didn't even know, but you already know, raised complaints earlier this year that he had behaved inappropriately towards them, according to 8 people, including multiple women who reported Barrett, as well as other Bungie employees who were either involved in the investigation or spoke to the women involved. Specifically, the report claims he called female employees attractive, played truth or dare, and suggested he could help individuals advance their career within the company. Yeah, the games industry, here's a big reason why it's failing. It's because you have talentless chicks get spots in these big companies well above their talent levels, and the blue-pilled simps that allow them to subsist in these areas. You take a look at pictures of the old Bungie development team. You watch some of those old Bungie vid docs back when they were, making Halo 3 and Halo Reach. You don't really see much quote-unquote diversity any of those documentaries, but you see what their output was, and those were all-time Hall of Fame games. So yeah, to see two studios, one legendary, one at least formed by legendary players, fall down and fail so catastrophically hard. And Bungie, we seen earlier this year, they were laying off all their woke employees. And I was hoping that that was going to be a sign of good things to come. But apparently, at this point in time, if they were to lay off anybody over there at Bungie, it would be a woke employee. And when it comes to Firewalk Studios, it'll be very interesting. And the way that Sony's moving, and especially going into 2025, if they're going to be doing any restructuring in regards to their studios, could have a very strange bedfellows once again, with Firewalk and Bungie getting folded together back under the same roof once again. But very likely under a different name, because I can't see Bungie or Firewalk Studios lasting much longer. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.